Hello everybody, I'm just setting up my computer so I'm going to be able to see where we are here. So if you'll just hold on just 1 second, we will get started. There we go. Now I'll be able to see where we are when we're stamping. My name is Rita Holmes. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I live in Ohio. And right now it's a very rainy day here. It's rainy yesterday, rainy today. As you can tell, I've been out in the rain. Lord have mercy. It's crazy out there. But anyway, I am here to tell you that I've brought you a fun fold tonight, and using a Stampin' Up paper that I don't think, when I looked at it, I didn't know about the possibilities of it, and I thought it would be a challenge for me. So I ordered it to see what I could do with it and see what I liked with it. So I'm going to bring you that tonight. But before we get there, I just want to share with you that I have a Facebook group called Stamp Crazy VIP that you can join, where I give, I actually do a video on the same thing that you're seeing tonight, but I do them every Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock. They're a set video. And I make a PDF of the technique, fun fold, whatever I'm doing, with all the measurements on it and how to do it, and then pictures of the cards, so that if you want to file them away, you have a picture with your directions. Because if you're like me, you write down directions and then you don't have a card to go with it or anything, and you're like, wonder what that is. So, it's just kind of nice to have pictures, and I haven't done it in a long time, and actually it's one of my downline that asked me, could you put pictures with your PDFs? And so I started doing that, and I think it's worked out really, really well. As you know, our new catalog started actually a month ago, which I can't believe it's already been out here a month. And I hope everyone's got one. If you don't and you need one, you don't have a demonstrator, please let me know, and I'll be able to send you one. Same with if you need help with any kind of orders or anything. If you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be the one to help you with that. So you can just let me know on all those things. I would be happy to help you. And also, if you could just hit the share button here on this video, and the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel. That way you'll know when I do have a video out. And also the like button, or the unlike button if you really feel like it wasn't a good video. I'll take that. I like bad criticism as well as good criticism. So anyway, I am going to turn the camera. I just want to say hi, and as much as in person as we can get here on YouTube. And it's always nice to put a face with hands that are working all the time, that's all you ever see. So I just wanted to touch base with you, and now I'm going to turn the camera around. So you're going to be looking at my ceiling for a minute, but that's okay. And then I will get the video going. If I don't knock everything over with my phone cord being caught. Sorry about making you dizzy, but my phone cord got in the wrong place. So now let me fix it so that we don't lose my phone. I don't know how that happened, but it did. I guess I didn't check it. But anyway, here's our cards that we're going to be doing. I have 4 of them here, so it's hard to see. This is called the In Symmetry the paper is called Sweet Symmetry. That's what these 3 cards are made out of. That's the paper I'm going to be using tonight, and it's on page like 113 in the catalog. I know it's the stamp set. Here's the stamp set. It's called In Symmetry, and I'm going to be using that stamp set. And then the paper is, which is hard to see in the catalog. Forgot I need to go back the other way. It's right here. It's this paper, and I'll show that to you real quick. To me, it kind of like has a Dutch flair to it, and I don't know why it reminds me of that, but it does. And I'll take it, But here's some of I've used a lot of it, so here's some of the papers. I really like this one right here. And then that's the back side. There's this one with the back side here. This one. I really like all of them. I just didn't know what I was going to do with them. This is the one I'm going to be doing tonight with our card that we do tonight. Then we have this one and the back of it. And then the one that I don't have there is this one. And the back is blue. So it doesn't really look like it goes with it. But I stamped a card with it to, because all the rest of them match something on the front, but that one does not. But that is their paper. I also made a card out of the inked impressions. This is out of stock right now. Hopefully it'll be in at the end of the month and we can start ordering it again. But until then, I did tell the people that bought my class to go that on my weekly video I would try to do something with the papers of that. So that's what I did. So let me show you the insides of these. That says hello, and then you're going to have a little card here that opens. This one says best wishes, and I used the front and back side of my paper, my designer series paper. So there's a piece here, that's the back side of that, and then you're going to open it up this way and it says happy birthday, where I stamped on my center, and then I put DSP on each side and used ribbon to tie it shut. Now I did see this on a video and I liked it real well. I did a couple little things differently as far as adding DSP in more places than what she did and different things like that. So I can't think of who did it. I want to say, TX Stampin Sharon, I think is what her name is, her YouTube channel and stuff. But anyway, let me show you the rest of them. It's a video from a while back, I think, that she did, like a year or two ago. And I just like the design of the card. And this one says, you are perfectly unique. And then I just stamped flowers on the inside. And then, thanks so much on the very inside to make a thank you card. This one says, best day ever. And you open it up and it says thanks so much, and there again it just is blank, and I'm just really stamping on the front small pieces and then putting a little bit of stamping on my white insert in here. So they go pretty fast. They look a little intimidating is what they said Tuesday on my video. They just thought, look, you know, they weren't sure about it until we got started. This one just says, hey friend, you are perfectly unique. And then the stamping on it. So there are some cards. Now when I use the stamp set on everything you see with the in symmetry and the sweet symmetry paper, I used the sayings out of here. I only used this stamp set for my sayings and my stamping. So I kept it simple with that. So we are going to go ahead. I wanted to show you too, before I start, my PDF. I was telling you about the pictures. Here's everything I used. Here's the directions of how to make it. And then here are pictures of the cards, and I put the different ways when it opens what it looks like so that you'd be able to see it. Okay, so that's over on my Stamp Crazy VIP Facebook group. If you don't belong to it, you can go join it, and you can get any of the PDFs of the videos that you have seen on here because they're all over on that page, okay? So let's get started. I will tell you the measurements as we go. I'm going to put this together like this, as looking at this as an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. You would have a 1-inch strip down here, and then this corner, that's what would be left, because this is cut 5.5 by 8.5. Okay, I mean 5.5 by 10. It's scored at 4 1/4 and 8.5. It's scored this way: 4 1/4, 8.5. Again, it measures 5.5 this way, 10 this way. Okay. The other little piece for your small card is 3 inches by 7 inches. Well, 3 inches by 7 inches, scored at 3.5. And that is, you know, when you're cutting this 5.5 and you cut this 3, that's your 8.5 piece of cardstock. So it works out perfect, okay? So let's get started. And first of all, I'm going to score. And I'm going to, I mean not score, but I'm going to fold on my smallest fold here first. My 1 1/4 inch fold, I'm just going to fold that over. And the reason why I turned my paper over, here's the hump. When you score down, you know, you'll have an indentation here, and here's your hump. I always put my hump to the inside. It leaves a nicer outside of your card if you've never thought about that. Then what I'm going to do, even though my score line's here, I'm not going to fold on it per se. I'm going to make sure my card lines up right inside and not across that little score line for the 1 1/4, okay? And you'll see this has a little hump in it. So what I'm going to do is just press my paper out, okay, to make it lay flat. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see, it is right, it is on the score line. But that's a way, if you do kind of get it a little off, this will still fold over, okay? So that's how we folded that. I gotta get it a little straighter though, because it was not quite as straight as I thought it was. That's okay, we can just fold it. You can score away. You just get a flatter card that way, which is fine. Okay, because I want that to lay really flat until we get that done. And then I'm just going to take this one and I'm going to just fold it in half and go ahead and score it. And I'm going to set it to the side. So now we're going to work on putting this together. So what I have here is I have 2 pieces of DSP, and it's actually the same piece of paper. I just cut 2 of them, and it's cut 5 1/4 by 4. I'm going to place one out here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that in. Make sure my glue's not dried on the tip before I start. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put me some glue on here. And I'm going to take and I'm going to glue that right here to my front panel. I moved that when I moved my hand. That was crazy. That's okay. We can get it straightened back up. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close that flap, and I have these pieces are cut 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to glue that to the outside right here. I'm using the opposite side so that they both show on the front. Because you cut 2 of these also. One for the inside of this flap and one for the outside. Then what you're going to do after you do those, you're going to open it up. And on this side where you've got this color done, you're going to do the opposite color. And you're going to glue this. Now, if you're using this paper, you're going to make sure these match as far as your flowers are up and stuff, okay? So I'm going to put some glue on there. This is a great way to use DSP or printed papers, whatever you have. It's a great way to like cut some of that up and get it out of your way. Just making these cards. So there we go with that, and I got just a little bit of glue right there, so I'm going to get that off real quick, because when I close my card I'm going to be in trouble, because we won't get it back open, and that wouldn't be fun. Okay, so now I'm going to open this side, and I'm going to put my printed paper here, okay? And then after I stamp my white piece here, and we'll glue it in. We're not going to glue that in right now. So there's basically our card, okay? Now on our little card, what you need to remember is, you know, we're used to opening cards from this side with our fold here and opening up. For this little card, it's going to be backwards. Your fold is going to be on this side, so you're going to open it this way. Okay? So it's backwards to what you're used to. Let me bring one of the cards in here. So what I did here is I stamped this front, and then on my inside is over here. So I put a piece of Designer Series paper there. So I'm going to turn this up. I'm going to bring my Designer Series paper in, and I'm going to glue that right there. So now I've got all of my designer papers in. This piece of designer paper is 2 3/4 by 3 1/4. And it goes right here. Okay, so basically what you have in your DSP papers or printed papers, however you want to say it, you've got 2 pieces, 1, 2, that's 5 1/4. You've got 2 pieces, 1 and 2, that's 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. Then you have 1 piece, which is here, that is 2 3/4 by 3 1/4. Okay, so now we have our white pieces. That is what's here, is what we're going to stamp. So we have 2 pieces that's 2 3/4 by 3 1/4, the same size as the DSP, that'll go here and here. Then we have another piece that's 5 1/4 by 4, that's going to go on our big card right here in the center. Okay, so that's all we need to know right now. Now we're going to stamp those. Now I haven't used this pattern of paper, and I try to match the stamps up as close as I can to what's on the paper to make it all kind of flow. So let's go with this. So let's stamp my little ones first. And what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to stamp my sayings first. And I think I'm going to stamp them in, I might stamp them in the Calypso Coral. That'll be different. Let's do that. Because that is the darker shade right here, is Calypso Coral. And that. So let's do Calypso Coral. And on the front, I'm going to put Hey Friend. So I'm going to stamp my saying first. And I think I'm going to stamp this saying, let's stamp it right here. So we've got Hey Friend. Let me go ahead and clean that off because I got another stamp on the other side of it that I'm going to be using. And I want it to be where I can see it really good. So I did Hey Friend for that one. And on this one, I'm going to put Best Day Ever. And you could stop it at this, and you know, just if maybe you was out with a friend or whatever, you could do this. And you could stop your sayings right there. But you know, hey friend, best day ever. We went out and everything, you know, and just say, hey, I had a good time. Or you can go to the inside of your card and put one more saying and say, thanks so much. Which is what I'm going to do. So there's my sayings. So we have all of those on. Now I can stamp, and I won't have to really worry about, especially with these smaller cards, on where I'm going. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to close this. We're done with it. I'm going to take the navy blue. And I'm going to take this little flower here, and I'm going to stamp me some flowers. I'm going to stamp 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I'm going to do it on this one too, but I'm going to go just a little bit higher with my stamps. Okay, now I'm going to go with this one. And I'm going to stamp these even higher. Whoa, I don't want all that ink on my block. That was messy. Let's do that again. So now we're going to go higher. And these, I think I'm just going to stagger. One more, and I got ink on that too. I better watch what I'm doing. Okay. That way they each look just a tiny bit different. But I did that because I wanted to show you something, because now I'm going to use the stem right here. This is the stem of our flowers. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to get out the Just Jade ink pad. And I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper. I'm sure you guys want to see that. I just don't want to get it all over everything. So let me do this one first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. It's just a line stamp. I think you can see it. And there's a little bitty opening in the middle of these flowers, and that's where I'm going to try to hit it. So I hope my head is not too far into the camera. Okay, there's 3 of those stamped. Now I'm going to do this one. Okay, there's that one. Now we're coming to this one, and I think my stem isn't long enough, but it's really easy to match up. Just ink it again. And if it doesn't match up perfect, you can put leaves there. So there we go. Now we're going to put some leaves, because it looks funny with just little sticks there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take one leaf here. Let's bring our little ones back in. We'll do them first. And I'm not going to put but a couple leaves on here, so I'm going to take this. And I think I'm just going to do it down here where all of these are together. And put a sleeve. And I'm going to bring the other one in. And do a leaf. And there we go with that one. Now since these are so low, I'm going to take my leaf and I'm just going to stamp it to see just a little bit of it. You don't want that big leaf sticking up there with just those little flowers right there. So we just stamped a little bit of the leaves on there. Now let's bring this in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my leaf, whoa, see if I can line that up. Pretty good. It'll work. It'll work. So I'm just going to put a leaf here with each of these. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the other leaf in. And I'm not going to put leaves on every one of these on this one. Just on a couple. And they will overlap a little bit. In fact, I might... Oh, I don't know. I think I'll put one up here, too. I think that's it. I think that's good for leaves. We don't need to do it again. We don't want to like overabundance it. So there we go. We have our leaves done. So that's basically all of the stamping that I am going to do on this. So now let's put all the, let's put it together. Get all of this together, which will be such a good thing. And you mainly want to see how to do the ribbon. Just because that's a little different than what we do too. So let me move all of this out of the way. We want everything to kind of dry. So let's put our, this is going to be the front. So we're not putting our front one yet. The front goes on very last. So let's take on the inside of this and put our best day ever. And you really do not have to use dimensionals on this because you got enough with the layers to have some dimension to your card. So you don't have to layer a lot of stuff with it. So there's our best day ever. And that will lay aside there. We're going to come in. We're going to take this one. Pick it up, and we are going to put it in here, and then that is the inside of our card. Okay, so this is together. Now what we're going to do, we need to put this onto our front, and so how we do that, we're going to have this closed like this. This is how it goes. You can use either, you'll want to use either tear and tape that's stronger, or if you have the Stampin' Seal Plus, you can use it. I'm going to use it just because it saves a little time on just this part. And I put 3 rows of it. I start here at my fold, and I put some adhesive right there next to that, and I go like 3 rows over, right next to each other, okay? So that you have those. Can you see that? And you have like 3 rows. And I'm going to turn this over, make sure I have it right side up. And I'm going to bring it to my card, and I'm going to try to center it here vertically. If you get it off center, that's okay too. Which I did, but I'm going to leave it that way. I did get a little bit higher up there. And you want to get that even right here with your other fold, with this fold here, and that way it opens up. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to put our ribbon on, and I chose to use this gold ribbon mainly because I didn't have any more of my white left that I used on these. I used it all up making my cards, so I'm going to use this gold. I kind of liked it with it, and I'll use some gold accents with it, and I think that'll bring all the color in. What I'm going to do is I used about 22 inches of ribbon, and I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to lay it right here. I am going to use my tear and tape for this part because I don't know why I was going to try to put that on the wrong thing. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tear and tape, and I'm going to find this about the center of my card, my little card, and I'm going to put this down. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to bring it around all the way around here on my card, and then just tear it. Okay. Now you want that on there really good, so I take my bone folder, my pot scraper from Pampered Chef, because that's what I like, and we're just going to rub that a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to pull just the front part right here off. Just make sure I got that on there good so I can flip it off. There we go. So I'm just going to flip this back to right here for right now, because I'm going to pick this up at my fold again, and I'm going to take, and right where this fold is here, where I just stopped that, I'm going to lay that ribbon there. Then I'll lay that half back, and I'll bring this half across this tear and tape. And you will not feel any sticky, and it's going to hold that down for you really, really good. So then what you're going to do is you're going to turn this over, peel the rest of your tape off of your tear and tape, and then bring your ribbon back and lay it down so that your ribbon is secure all the way around, so it won't be flopping on you. Okay? So that's how it's going to go. So now we're ready for this, and what we're going to do is we're just going to come in and we're going to put this on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. You can use your tear and tape or whatever. You want it to seal on there good because of pulling on this ribbon when you're tying it. So you want to go ahead and either use your tear and tape or Stampin' Seal Plus or your fuse, whatever kind of stuff that you've got that's really sticky and tacky, you want to use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this in. The thing of it is you don't get to move it around, so you have to kind of be sure what you're doing. That's the bad thing. So I'm going to turn mine this way so I can see all sides. Looks good enough to me. I'm going to lay it down. Okay, so there is that. So now the only thing I have to do is tie this, and I'm going to add me some jewels on here because this is kind of plain. That's okay, it's got busy paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and I'm going to tie a bow. You can tie a knot if you want to, or whatever, you know, kind of clasp you would like to have there, you can do. So, anyway, I just am going to tie me a bow. And I cut off more ribbon than I need because it's easier for me to tie my bow. But I don't leave all that on there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take, and I'm going to leave some so if any, you know, whoever you give this to has room to open it and fold it back again. So there's our gold ribbon. So let's get out some jewels that we can use. That'll go to tie in our gold ribbon here. So let's see what we have. Do I want? No, I don't want those. See what we might have now. And if we don't have, let's see what the champagne might look like with it because of the way that's glitter. That might look really pretty. Let's try that. So I'm going to take my pick tool and I'm going to add me some jewels around on my card, okay? So I think I'm going to take the medium-sized ones. Just add some here and there, right here, maybe right up here. I think I'm going to put 5 on there. I'm going to put 2 small ones with it because I'm going to put them around these flowers. There we go. So I put 5 of those on there and just pull that into that. And that is the card. That is very easy to make. I hope you guys try it because it is a fun card, and like I said, it's such an easy way to use up DSP. You know, if you have a lot of printed papers laying around that you want to get rid of and you want to make some cards with, this is a good way to use it up and make some nice cards. So I hope you try it, and I hope you have a good day or night, whatever time you're watching this. I am making it at night since it's like 8:30 right now when I'm doing it, and then I'll have it published here pretty soon. So I hope you guys all have a good night, and we will see you again. Thank you. Bye.